Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you of the power of gratitude. But not just any gratitude, the kind that comes with grace, strength, and dignity. The kind that commands respect and leaves an impression. To thank like a queen is to express appreciation with a heart full of wisdom and purpose. It's not about the size of the gift or the grandiosity of the gesture. It's about the depth of your recognition, the authenticity of your words, and the authenticity of your words, and the understanding that gratitude is the key to abundance. When a queen thanks, she does it with intention. She acknowledges not only what she has received, but also the journey, the effort, and the spirit behind it. She sees the bigger picture and understands that every blessing, every kindness is a building block in the kingdom she is creating. Gratitude isn't just a fleeting moment or a polite gesture, it's a way of seeing the world. When you thank like a queen, you understand that gratitude is the cornerstone of abundance. It's a mindset, a perspective, a daily practice. You don't wait for grand events or monumental gestures to express it. No, it's there in the small, quiet moments, in the sunlight breaking through your window in the morning, in the warmth of a kind word spoken, in the very breath that fills your lungs. Gratitude becomes the lens through which you view life, a foundation that strengthens everything you build upon it. When your heart is rooted in gratitude, it shifts the way you perceive what you have and what you've been given. You no longer count blessings as if they were limited, as if you were rationing joy. Instead, you see every moment as a gift. You realize that it's not just about what you receive, but the way you receive it. Gratitude, when it's genuine, carries a quiet dignity. It's not about showmanship or extravagance, it's about sincerity. You see, a queen understands that the act of giving thanks isn't just for the benefit of the person she's thanking, it's for her own soul as well. Gratitude keeps her grounded, reminds her of her humanity, and connects her to the people and experiences that shape her life. It's an acknowledgement that no matter how much she has achieved, no matter how far she has come, she didn't get there alone. It's a recognition of the hands that lifted her, the shoulders that carried her, and the sacrifices made on her behalf. Gratitude becomes a habit, a rhythm that beats alongside her heart. It keeps her open to receiving, not out of entitlement, but with humility and grace. And when you live in that rhythm, something extraordinary happens. Your world begins to expand. The more you recognize the blessings in your life, the more blessings seem to find you. It's not magic, it's alignment. You align yourself with a force greater than you, a force that responds to the energy you put into the world. So gratitude isn't just about saying thank you, it's about being thankful. It's about waking up each day and choosing to focus on what's good, what's right, and what's possible. It's about understanding that everything, even the challenges, has something to teach you. When you live with that kind of gratitude, you don't just survive, you thrive. And that, my friends, is how a queen builds her kingdom one thank you at a time. Gratitude, when expressed with grace, transforms into something far greater than mere words. It becomes a bridge between hearts, a gesture that uplifts both the giver and the receiver. Grace in acknowledgement is about more than just saying thank you. It's about the manner in which those words are offered, words that carry a weight, a sincerity, and a depth that cannot be ignored. It's the way you pause, truly taking what has been done for you, and respond with a heart that fully recognizes the value of the gesture. When someone gives, they're offering a piece of themselves, their time, their effort, their kindness. Acknowledging that with grace means honoring not just the act, but the intention behind it. It's not rushed or thoughtless, it's deliberate and meaningful. It's looking someone in the eye, speaking with a voice that resonates sincerity, and letting them feel the full extent of your appreciation. It's about showing them in that moment that their effort has touched you in a way that matters. Gracious acknowledgement doesn't depend on the size or grandeur of the gift. Whether it's a small kindness or an extraordinary act, the response is the same: thoughtful, genuine, and heartfelt. Because grace is not measured by the magnitude of what's given, it's measured by the authenticity of what's received. It's about understanding that the act of giving in any form is an expression of connection, and responding with grace strengthens that connection. When you thank with grace, you create a ripple. It's a subtle yet profound exchange of energy, one that leaves both parties richer than before. The giver feels seen and valued, and the receiver carries forward the gift of gratitude, often inspiring others to do the same. It's a quiet power, this grace, a power that doesn't demand attention but leaves an indelible mark. In moments of acknowledgement, grace teaches us patience. It reminds us to pause, to truly see the person before us, and to offer a response that carries more than just words. It's a nod to the humanity in others, a recognition of the effort and thought they've invested. Grace isn't just in the act of thanking, it's in how you thank, how you make others feel when they've given a part of themselves. And in that grace, there is strength, dignity, and a kind of royalty that cannot be denied. There's a quiet power in the way presence transforms a simple thank you into something unforgettable. When you're truly present in a moment of gratitude, it's as though time slows down. You're not distracted, not thinking about what comes next, not letting the chaos of the world rush you along. Instead, you stop, you see, and you feel. It's in that stillness that your thank you carries a weight, a meaning, and a resonance that lingers long after the words are spoken. Being present means you give your full attention not just to the act of thanking, but to the person you're thanking. It's more than the words you say, it's how you say them. How your eyes meet theirs, how your tone conveys sincerity. It's a handshake that lingers a second longer, a smile that reaches your eyes, or a pause that tells the other person you matter in this moment, and I see you presence turns gratitude into a connection, a bridge between two souls. You see, when you rush through a thank you, it feels transactional, as if you're checking it off a list. But when you're present, it becomes transformational. It's no longer about obligation or routine, it's about recognition. It's about making the other person feel that their effort, their kindness, or their gesture has made an impact on you. And in that recognition, you're not just expressing thanks, you're giving a gift back to them. Presence doesn't demand grandeur. It doesn't need elaborate words or sweeping gestures. It needs only your full attention and your genuine heart. It's the way you lean in when someone speaks, the way you pause before responding, the way you let the silence settle before saying thank you. So the words feel deliberate and earned. It's the difference between hearing and listening, between seeing and noticing, between speaking and connecting. When you give the gift of your presence, you tell the other person that their act was worth your time, your focus, and your acknowledgement. You honor them by being fully there, not half-hearted or distracted. And in doing so, you elevate the act of gratitude into something profound, something that isn't just heard but felt. This is the kind of thank you that stays with people, that lingers in their memory, and that reminds them they're valued. Presence transforms gratitude into an art. It makes a moment sacred, a gesture meaningful, and a connection lasting. And when you learn to thank with your whole being, mind, heart, and soul, you give a gift that's more valuable than any words could ever express. To thank someone in a way that elevates them is to acknowledge not just the act, but the person behind it. It's more than an expression of gratitude. It's a recognition of worth, a reflection of how deeply you value the individual. When you do this, you're not just thanking them for what they did, you're affirming who they are. You're saying, I see you. I see your effort, your kindness, your heart, and I honor it. That kind of gratitude doesn't just touch the surface, it goes to the core of a person and lifts them. When you elevate someone with your thanks, you're giving them more than words. You're offering them dignity, respect, and appreciation in a way that says, your contribution matters, and so do you. You take the time to recognize their unique role, their intentions, and the energy they've poured into what they've done. You don't just thank them for what they gave, you acknowledge what it took for them to give it. Whether it's their time, their effort, or their generosity, you make it clear that it didn't go unnoticed. This kind of gratitude requires humility. It means stepping outside yourself and focusing entirely on the other person. It's not about what you received, it's about the giver. It's about putting them in the light, even if just for a moment, and letting them feel the full weight of your appreciation. It's the kind of thank you that turns an ordinary act into something extraordinary because it transforms how the other person feels about themselves. When you elevate others through your gratitude, you also inspire them. You remind them of their value, their ability to make a difference, and their capacity to bring joy or help to someone else. In a world where so many people feel unseen, this kind of acknowledgement can be life-changing. It's a quiet encouragement that says what you do matters, who you are matters. This isn't about flattery or empty praise. It's about being genuine, about speaking from the heart. It's about taking the time to let someone know that their actions, no matter how small, made a difference. And when you thank in this way, you create a ripple effect. The person you've lifted up is more likely to go out into the world and lift others. Your gratitude becomes a gift that keeps giving. Gratitude that elevates is powerful because it goes beyond the moment. It stays with people, shaping how they see themselves in the world. And when you thank someone in this way, you're not just giving back what they gave you, you're giving them something far more valuable, the sense that they are seen, appreciated, important. That's a gift that no one ever forgets. To truly honor the effort someone puts forth, you must look beyond the surface of what they've done and see the journey it took to get there. Effort is not just about the outcome, it's about the sweat, the thought, the energy, and sometimes the sacrifices that go unnoticed. When you express gratitude for someone's effort, you're telling them that you recognize the story behind their gesture. You're acknowledging the part of the process that most people overlook: the late nights, the second guesses, the determination to follow through. Effort is personal. It's a piece of a person's time, a fragment of their life they've chosen to give away. When you thank someone for their effort, you're showing them that what they've given didn't just slip past unnoticed, it mattered. You're saying, I see what this cost you. I see the care, the thought, the work, and I appreciate it deeply. That kind of acknowledgement doesn't just make someone feel thanked, it makes them feel valued. To thank for effort is also to understand that not every act comes easily. Sometimes the person giving doesn't have much to spare. Maybe they're juggling countless responsibilities, or maybe they had to dig deep to offer what they did. By recognizing the effort, you're saying, I know this wasn't just simple or convenient. I know it came from a place of intention, and that makes it even more meaningful. Effort is a reflection of care, and when you thank someone for it, you're affirming their humanity. You're reminding them that their work, their choices, and their contributions are worth something. You're telling them that the energy they spent mattered and that it wasn't wasted or ignored. Gratitude like this becomes a mirror. It shows the giver the best version of themselves, the one that's capable of generosity, thoughtfulness, and dedication. Sometimes people offer their effort quietly without fanfare. They do it because it's the right thing to do, not because they're seeking recognition. But when you take the time to notice, to say thank you, and to reflect back the weight of what they've done, you give them something invaluable. You give them a reason to keep going, a reminder that their effort has purpose. Gratitude for effort isn't just about appreciation, it's about connection. It bridges the space between the giver and the receiver, creating a bond built on mutual respect. And in a world that often takes things for granted, thanking someone for their effort is a way of saying, I don't take this lightly. I see the heart you put into this, and it means something to me. When you honor effort with your gratitude, you create an environment where giving feels meaningful. You inspire others to put forth their best, not because they're looking for rewards, but because they know their effort won't be taken for granted. And that, my friend, is how gratitude becomes not just a response, but a force that drives people to keep giving their very best. Gratitude doesn't have an expiration date. The moments that shaped us, the people who helped us, and the kindnesses we received along the way, they don't lose their meaning over time. When you carry timeless gratitude, you keep those moments alive. You remind yourself, and sometimes others, that the seeds planted in the past still bear fruit in your life today. A thank you doesn't always need to be immediate to be meaningful. Sometimes the most powerful gratitude comes when you reach back long after the moment has passed and acknowledge its impact on your life. There's something deeply human about remembering. When you take the time to reflect on the kindnesses that brought you to where you are, you honor the effort and generosity of others in a way that feels eternal. It's not about what's new, what's flashy, or what's fresh in your memory. It's about what shaped you, what mattered, and what still resonates. Gratitude like this is a bridge linking your past to your present, reminding you of the people and moments that gave you strength, taught you lessons, or offered you a lifeline when you needed it most. Timeless gratitude isn't just for monumental acts or life-changing events, it's for the quiet moments too. It's for the teacher who believed in you when no one else did, for the friend who stayed when things got hard, for the stranger whose kindness caught you off guard. These moments may fade from view, but their impact lingers, and when you revisit them with gratitude, you breathe life back into those experiences. You let them remind you of the goodness in the world and the ways you've been shaped by it. Reaching back to express gratitude, even after years have passed, carries a power all its own. It shows that you've carried that kindness with you, that it left a mark, and that it's still a part of who you are. For the person receiving your thanks, it can be profoundly moving. It tells them that what they did mattered, even if they'd forgotten about it themselves. It's a gift to remind someone of the difference they made, no matter how much time has gone by. Timeless gratitude is also a practice of humility. It's a way of acknowledging that you didn't get here alone, that your successes and your survival were often bolstered by the hands of others. It's a way of saying, I remember what you did for me, and I carry that with me still. In doing so, you keep those connections alive. You honor the threads that weave your story together, threads that might have frayed or been forgotten if not for your deliberate act of gratitude. This kind of gratitude enriches you too. It keeps you grounded, reminding you of where you've been and how far you've come. It builds a reservoir of thankfulness that sustains you, especially in moments when life feels challenging. Knowing that you've been supported before can give you strength to face what's ahead. Gratitude doesn't just look at the past, it prepares you for the future. When you live with timeless gratitude, you create a legacy. You become someone who remembers, who acknowledges, who lifts others up long after the moment has passed. And in a world that moves so quickly, where so much is forgotten or taken for granted, that kind of gratitude is a rare and precious thing. It's a reminder that kindness once given can echo forever in the hearts of those who receive it. Gratitude has a way of shining through when you make it personal. It's not enough to offer a generic thank you or a hollow gesture. When you take the time to make your appreciation unique to the person in the moment, it becomes more than a polite response, it becomes a powerful connection. Personal gratitude speaks directly to the heart. It says, I see you, I understand what you've done, and I value it in a way only you could make possible. That's where its true power lies. Making gratitude personal means moving beyond the surface. It's not just about acknowledging the act, but recognizing the person behind it, their individuality, their intentions, and the unique way they've impacted you. It's about calling out the details, the little things that might go unnoticed by others. Maybe it's the way someone stayed up late to help you, the thoughtfulness they put into a gift, or the encouragement they offered when you felt like giving up. When you highlight those specifics, you're telling them that their actions didn't just blend into the background, they stood out and they meant something. There's an intimacy in personal gratitude, a kind of authenticity that cannot be faked. It requires you to be present, to think deeply about what you're thankful for, and to express it in a way that resonates. It's not about grand speeches or elaborate displays. Sometimes as simple as saying, I notice how much care you put into this, and it means the world to me. Those words spoken from a genuine place carry a weight that lingers far longer than a rushed thanks. Personal gratitude also carries the power to heal and uplift. When you take the time to acknowledge someone's unique contribution, you're affirming their value, not just in what they did, but in who they are. You're saying your effort, your thoughtfulness, your presence, it all matters in a world where people often feel overlooked or unappreciated. That kind of acknowledgement can be transformative. It has the ability to lift spirits, to strengthen relationships, and to remind someone that they are seen and cherished. This type of gratitude requires intention. It asks you to slow down, to reflect, and to offer your thanks with a sincerity that comes from the heart. It's not something you can rush through or check off a list. It's deliberate, thoughtful, and meaningful. And when you offer it, you'll find that it doesn't just impact the person you're thanking, it impacts you as well. It deepens your appreciation for the people around you. It strengthens the bonds that hold you together. Personal gratitude has a ripple effect. When someone feels genuinely appreciated, they're more likely to carry that energy forward, to extend kindness to others, to give more freely, and to continue being the kind of person who makes a difference. Your act of personal gratitude can inspire them in ways you may never fully understand. When you make gratitude personal, you turn it into something more than a moment. It becomes a memory, a touchstone that someone can return to again and again. It's a way of saying this isn't just about what you did, it's about what it meant to me. And when you express your gratitude like that, it becomes unforgettable. It becomes a gift, a reflection of your connection, and a reminder of the impact we all have on each other's lives. Gratitude becomes transformative when it's expressed with consistency. It's easy to say thank you in the heat of the moment when emotions are fresh and the gesture is still vivid in your mind. But real gratitude doesn't fade with time. It doesn't lose its meaning as the days pass or the memory of the event dulls. True gratitude is a practice, is something you carry with you every day, a quiet reminder to acknowledge the blessings that surround you. And when it's consistent, it becomes a force that shapes not just your relationship with others, but your own character. Consistent gratitude is about making it a habit, a regular part of your life, rather than a sporadic reaction to big events. It's about taking the time each day to reflect on what you're thankful for. It might not always be the grand moments or the significant gestures. It might be the small things that over time accumulate and make life feel richer. It could be the person who checks in on you, the unexpected kindness you receive from a stranger, or the quiet moments of peace in a busy day. It's in these small, often overlooked gifts that gratitude truly thrives. And when you make the choice to recognize them consistently, you begin to change the way you see the world. Gratitude, when it becomes consistent, has a way of grounding you. It anchors you in the present moment, reminding you of the good that exists even when life gets chaotic or difficult. It allows you to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. When you consistently express thanks, you're training your mind to look for the positives, to seek out the light even in the darkest of times. And this shift in perspective has a profound impact on your well-being. It reduces stress, increases your sense of contentment, and builds resilience. You begin to realize that no matter how challenging things might get, there's always something to be grateful for if you're willing to see it. The power of consistent gratitude also lies in its ability to strengthen bonds. When you make it a habit to regularly express your thanks, the people around you begin to feel valued. They know that their efforts are not going unnoticed, that their kindness is appreciated. This creates a sense of mutual respect and trust that builds over time. Gratitude becomes the glue that holds relationships together, deepening the connection and creating an environment where people feel safe to give, to share, and to support one another. But consistent gratitude doesn't just change your relationship with others, it changes your relationship with yourself. It's easy to take yourself for granted, to focus on your flaws or your shortcomings. But when you practice gratitude regularly, you begin to recognize your own strengths, your own growth, and the things you've overcome. You acknowledge the effort you put into your own life, the resilience that's carried you through. And in doing so, you build a sense of self-worth that no external validation can ever replace. Consistency is what turns gratitude from a fleeting feeling into a way of life. It's not about saying thank you just when it's convenient, but about making it a cornerstone of your existence. It's in those quiet moments of reflection, those small acts of acknowledgement, that gratitude grows roots and flourishes. And over time, it transforms not just your perspective, but your entire outlook on life. You begin to see the world as a place of abundance, full of opportunities for appreciation and connection. And with that shift comes a profound sense of peace and fulfillment, knowing that no matter what life brings, you are always surrounded by reasons to be thankful. Gratitude that transforms a person's life doesn't stop at acknowledgement. It grows into something that shapes the way you live, think, and interact with the world. When you make gratitude a cornerstone of your being, it shifts your mindset, reshaping your internal narrative. It's easy to become trapped in cycles of negativity, to focus on what you lack, what's wrong, or what's missing. But when gratitude becomes your lens, it changes the very way you see your life. It turns challenges into lessons, obstacles into opportunities, and setbacks into stepping stones. At the core of this transformation is a shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. When you practice deep gratitude, you begin to recognize the wealth of blessings around you, both big and small. You see that your life is filled with more than just the material or the tangible. It's filled with experiences, relationships, and moments of peace that can never be bought. You start to understand that true wealth is found not in possessions or status, but in the richness of your connections, your memories, and your growth. Gratitude in this way becomes a filter that helps you notice what's going right in your life instead of what's going wrong. This shift doesn't happen overnight, though. It takes consistent practice. It takes a willingness to see beyond the surface of your circumstances and to look deeper into the heart of every experience. It's in the tough moments, the ones that stretch you and challenge your patience, where gratitude can do its most powerful work. When you can find something to be thankful for in the middle of struggle, you begin to change how you interact with adversity. Instead of running from difficulty or resenting it, you start to approach it with curiosity. You ask yourself, what can this teach me? How is this shaping me into the person I need to become? And in doing so, you transform the very nature of struggle, turning it into a tool for growth. The beauty of gratitude's transformative power is that it doesn't just affect your mindset, it affects your behavior. When you truly appreciate what you have, you naturally begin to share it with others. Your gratitude moves beyond words, it becomes actions. You find yourself giving more, not out of obligation, but out of the abundance you feel. You become more generous with your time, your energy, and your love because you see that giving is a natural extension of the gratitude you feel. This creates a ripple effect. When people experience your gratitude, they are inspired to be more grateful themselves, and the cycle of appreciation continues to grow. Gratitude also has the ability to heal. It's a force that mends old wounds, smooths over hurt, and fosters forgiveness. When you approach life with a grateful heart, you learn to let go of grudges, not because you forget the pain, but because you understand that holding on to it only serves to diminish your peace. You start to realize that gratitude is a balm for the soul. It allows you to release bitterness and resentment and replace them with acceptance and understanding. You stop looking at what was done to you and start focusing on what has been done for you. And in doing so, you free yourself from the weight of the past. And perhaps the most profound aspect of gratitude's transformation is how it redefines success. In a world that often measures success by external markers, wealth, power, recognition, gratitude teaches you that success is not something to be pursued outside of yourself, but something that is cultivated within. Success is found in the ability to appreciate the present, to be content with where you are, and to be thankful for the lessons you've learned along the way. You begin to realize that the journey itself, with all its ups and downs, is the true reward. When gratitude becomes ingrained in your life, it becomes a reflection of who you are. It shapes your interactions, your decisions, and your sense of self. It's not just a response to what others have done for you. It's a way of life, a perspective that permeates every thought, every word, and every action. Gratitude isn't something you do occasionally. It's something you live consistently in every moment, no matter the circumstances. And when you do, it transforms not just the way you see the world, but the way the world sees you. You become a beacon of light, a person who radiates positivity, peace, and abundance, not because you have everything, but because you appreciate everything you have. Gratitude is not a transaction, it's an energy, a state of being that transcends the immediate moment and becomes woven into the fabric of your life. When you live in a state of gratitude, you become attuned to the subtle ways in which the world gifts you with opportunities, lessons, and connections. It's not just the grand gestures or the obvious moments that warrant thanks. It's the quiet, unspoken gifts that arrive in the smallest forms: the morning light, the unexpected smile from a stranger, the moments of clarity that seem to emerge out of nowhere. These moments, often overlooked, are just as valuable as the more overt expressions of kindness or generosity. The power of gratitude grows exponentially when it is felt deeply, not just as a reflex or a polite response, but as a conscious choice to acknowledge the good that exists in your life. It requires you to slow down and truly experience the moment, to take it all in, and to recognize the beauty in even the most ordinary of circumstances. It's in these moments that gratitude works its magic, transforming your perspective from one of scarcity and longing to one of abundance and fulfillment. By focusing on the good that already exists, you shift your energy from what's lacking to what's present, from what's wrong to what's right. When you choose to be grateful in every moment, you change the way you interact with the world. Gratitude becomes a lens through which you view everything. It alters how you see people, how you see challenges, and how you see yourself. You begin to notice the goodness that exists all around you, and this awareness opens you up to deeper connections with others. Gratitude breaks down the walls we often build around ourselves, walls of isolation and fear, and invites us to connect, to share, and to give freely. It fosters an environment where empathy and compassion can thrive, where you are more willing to understand others and support them because you have recognized the value they bring into your life. Living in gratitude also teaches you resilience. Life is unpredictable, full of ups and downs, and gratitude doesn't promise an absence of hardship. Instead, it offers you a framework for navigating the tough times with grace. When you're in the midst of difficulty, gratitude helps you shift your focus from the pain to the lessons, from the loss to the growth. It doesn't diminish the challenge, but it gives you the strength to endure it. In moments of struggle, gratitude becomes the anchor that keeps you grounded, reminding you that no matter how overwhelming the storm, there are still blessings to be counted. Furthermore, when gratitude becomes a regular part of your life, it brings peace. It's easy to get swept up in the noise of the world, to get caught in the chase for more, or to become fixated on what's next. But gratitude pulls you back to the present. It teaches you to find peace in what you already have, in who you already are. When you can find satisfaction in the simple things, you are no longer dependent on external circumstances to determine your happiness. You understand that peace comes from within, from your ability to accept and appreciate life as it is, not as you wish it to be. And as gratitude deepens, it ripples outward, affecting not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. People can sense when someone is genuinely grateful when they carry that energy with them. It's contagious. Gratitude encourages generosity, not just in material terms, but in the way you give of yourself. When you are grateful for the love, the time, and the care that others have shown you, you naturally want to give back. You want to lift others up, to support them in the same way you've been supported. In this way, gratitude becomes the foundation of a community built on trust, kindness, and mutual respect. The act of being grateful for the present moment, for the people around you, and for the life you live is not just about feeling good, it's about becoming more. It's about expanding your capacity to appreciate, to connect, and to grow. It's about living a life that is rich not in what you possess, but in what you've experienced, in the depth of the relationships you've built, and in the way you've touched others. Gratitude invites you to take what you've been given and turn it into something greater, a life filled with meaning, connection, and purpose. Gratitude is a choice, and it is a choice that shapes the very essence of who you are. The more you choose to practice it, the more you transform your life from one of mere existence into one of profound joy and fulfillment. It doesn't require you to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances, or the perfect people. All it asks is that you recognize the beauty in what you have right now in the present moment, and let that recognition guide you to a life of deeper meaning and more genuine connection. To thank like a queen is to build a legacy of gratitude, is to embody grace, strength, and humility in every interaction. And as you go through life, remember, gratitude doesn't just make you noble, it makes you powerful.